Constitution is a progressive document and should be dynamic. Constitution is not cast on stone and should, from time to time, must be reviewed, Mr. Chairman.
The Constitution Amendment Bill of 2024, spearheaded by Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei, seeks to amend several key articles in the Constitution to increase the legislative power of the Senate and adjust the terms of critical offices in the country.
I agree with Kenyans that it has reached a time that we need to do constitutional audit.
One of the core proposals is a shift from a 5-year to a 7-year term for members of parliament, the president, governors and members of the county assemblies. The Nandi senator argued that the change would allow more time for leaders to implement their agendas without the pressure of frequent election cycles. However, the proposal has been heavily criticized by the public.
Look at the Gen Zs who want to be in power, and then a member of parliament is elected 7 times, 7 years. What does that mean? Some people will never see this, will never get a chance to be elected.
2 years, people are crying, people are suffering. Then we add 7 years, I think all of us here will die. And if you agree with me, raise your hand.
Issue of term limit, I have listened, other people are proposing 2 years, others are proposing 5 years to continue, others 4 years, Chair. In fact, many Kenyans don't know that some of these proposals on term limits are in NADCO report.
The bill also seeks to redefine the process surrounding states of emergency by amending Article 58 of the Constitution. Currently, the National Assembly has the primary role of approving any extension of a state of emergency. But Cherargei's proposal calls for joint approval by both the Senate and the National Assembly. The reasoning behind this change is that states of emergency impact both national and county governments, requiring a broader parliamentary consensus. Furthermore, both houses of parliament must now approve the deployment of the Kenya Defence Forces in any part of the country, a process that is currently approved solely by the National Assembly. On the legislative side, a key amendment is proposed to Article 109 of the Constitution, aiming to allow either House of Parliament to originate any bill, except money bills, which will remain exclusively in the National Assembly's domain. This marks a departure from the current process, which limits the Senate's ability to initiate any forms of legislation, a restriction that has fueled debates over the role and relevance of the Senate. The bill also proposes a significant financial shift by amending Article 203 to increase the allocation of resources to county governments from the current 15% to 40%. This move is designed to address the perennial issue of underfunding in counties, ensuring that devolved units receive adequate resources to execute their functions. Another major proposal is the adjustment of appointment powers. The bill suggests dividing the responsibility between the Senate and the National Assembly, with the Senate tasked to vet cabinet secretaries, the Chief Justice, the Auditor General and other key positions, while the National Assembly will be responsible for approving diplomatic appointments like ambassadors and high commissioners. Proponents say this will allow more targeted oversight, with each house playing to its strength in different areas. The bill also introduces a significant change by proposing the establishment of a Prime Minister's office to be held by the leader of the largest party or coalition in the parliament. The Prime Minister will be appointed by the President but will serve within Parliament, thereby adding a new layer of executive oversight within the legislative branch. Regarding budget processes, the bill seeks to introduce timelines for the passage of revenue allocation and division bills, ensuring that county assemblies have sufficient time to prepare their budgets. This addition would aim to streamline the financial planning process at both levels of government, reducing delays and enhancing fiscal predictability. It is a bill that has been criticized by different quarters, but one which the senators say seeks to offer solutions that are much needed. Some of the proposals requiring a referendum, as proposals to amend the Constitution 14 years after its promulgation, take center stage. Brian Amoai, K24.